Check out the latest highlights from the Nourishing You podcast.
Let's start out with the basics about why someone's basic blood work, something you might get like in a general wellness exam, is so important. So talk to us about what we can see in general blood work and how that's different maybe from a holistic point of view or a functional point of view versus what your doctor may be looking at it for.
Yeah. Well, even back in school when I knew nothing about blood work and I got first introduced to it, I was like, why didn't anybody teach me this? Or everybody should know this, because you go get your blood work done at the doctor and they just say everything looks normal. You don't know anything about the markers, anything about the ranges on those reports, and something never feels right when you know you're really going to the doctor, for some reason. You want them to, look at run blood tests and hopefully find some answers based, where we like to look at the blood test results using reference ranges that we call functional or optimal reference ranges. So those are a tighter set of reference ranges that represent more optimal. So there's a lot of good studies that support using a tighter set of reference ranges. And so that in our space, that's what we like to do for our clients, is look at the blood work and look for those markers that are out of optimal, so we can identify different imbalances in body systems to help be more proactive. And that's what we do. We help our clients be more proactive in their health. So if we can find those imbalances through the blood work using those optimal ranges that are specific and bio-individual also for that client. And that's another thing I do with the software in my research, is bio-individual ranges for that particular client based on their unique attributes.
And I think part of this is kind of differentiating and respecting different areas of expertise. I mean, we need our physicians and we want them to order our blood work, and their job is to use that blood work to make sure we're not in a disease state, right? And that's why they're using those reference ranges.
Right.
And we need that. I mean, our medical model is primarily disease-based, and that's what they're ordering blood work for, and they're using it to guide decisions about that, which is super important. But then there's this other should-be member, I would say, of your care team, which is maybe somebody that is more holistic or functional, that can say, okay, well, maybe we're not looking at disease states and we're not looking at diagnosing conditions, but we can optimize how we feel in our health and work from more of a wellness or early action model or standpoint by looking at these same labs just with a different lens and looking at them in a different way. And so it's not to say that physicians aren't doing it right. They just have a job to do with them, and we have a little different job to do with them. And it'd be nice if there was a little bit more overlap, but until there is, I mean, at least that there's this other place you can go to look at it.
We have a whole different perspective on it, and we want to help people be more proactive so they don't get to that state. We'd rather help people make diet and lifestyle improvements when they're outside of that office.
Fascinating. And what I love is how empowering this can be for people when they understand how it applies to them and their health. And once they start to see that, it's like the light bulb comes on. It's like, wow, I can eat different. I can do these things, and I can affect my health and my longevity, those types of things. So,
And I just wanted to say, for those of you listening that aren't nutrition professionals, one thing that makes nutrition professionals so valuable is that we can act as a partner to help you advocate for yourself. Because as Maryann alluded to, physicians are so busy. Most appointments with a physician are very, very short. 6 to 8 minutes or something is the average time frame. So it's really hard to get everything that you need from that appointment. And we all need a partner in our health. So that's really where we see our value in this space, is to partner with you, help you advocate. Just as Maryann was saying, here are some things to go back and ask your physician for a retest or additional tests. Sometimes people feel uncomfortable doing that on their own. But if they say, oh, well, my nutrition professional suggested this, or, you just have somebody on your team that can help support you, that can just be really, really beneficial. I've seen that be helpful hundreds and hundreds of times.
If you enjoyed this short episode, check out our full library on our NANP YouTube channel, where you can catch up or learn more. Keep in mind that the information on the NAMP podcast is for educational purposes only and should not be considered medical or legal advice. The NAMP is not liable or responsible for any harm, damage, or illness arising from the use of the information contained herein. By listening to the information on this podcast, you agree to defend, indemnify, and hold harmless the NAMP and all agents. Copyright NAMP, all rights reserved.